Our first DOE speaker this morning will be Thuc Hoang. Ms. Hoang is the Acting Director of the Office of Advanced Simulation and Computing, ASC, and Institutional Research and Development Programs for the Department of Energy National Nuclear Security Administration. She oversees the ASC program's research, development, acquisition, and operation of high-performance computing systems and supervises the NNSA Exascale Computing Initiative and Future Computing Technology Portfolio. Ms. Hoang has served on proposal review panels and advisory committees for the National Science Foundation, Department of Defense, and the DOE Office of Science, as well as for international HPC high-performance computing programs. She has been with the ASC program for 25 years and in federal service for more than 28 years. Ms. Hoang received a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Virginia Tech and a master's in electrical engineering from Johns Hopkins University. He was selected for the Senior Executive Fellows Program at Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government in April 2016. So Thuc, please go ahead.
Thank you, David. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's see. If someone can, forward to the next slide. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the Krell Institute for inviting me to give the opening remarks. I hope y'all are doing well and staying healthy during this very challenging time. It's rather unprecedented, but we will just have to adapt and deal with reality to the best that we can. And I guess in our lives, virtual meetings is the new normal. So David had briefly mentioned that I'm from the NNSA side, and the other program sponsor for the CSGF fellow program is the Oscar. And I just want to show, for those who didn't know about the DOE organizations, this DOE org chart. So I have stated that ASC is under it is in the Office of Undersecretary for National for NNSA, and Oscar is in the Office of the Undersecretary for Science, and we are the two HPC programs that provide open science computing resources, and that's the responsibility of the Oscar program. And my program, we provide the simulation and computing services for what we call the national security mission, the nuclear security mission. So that's more of the classified computing activities. Just to show you that we have two HPC program in DOE. Next slide, please. For those of you who don't know well the ASC program, especially the new fellows, I just want to advertise what we do in case you may be interested in doing some of your sabbaticals at the 3 NNSA national labs, which are Lawrence Livermore, Los Alamos, and labs. So ASC is essentially responsible for providing the simulation and computing services for the nuclear stockpile stewardship mission. So you may know that annually the DOE Secretary of Defense and Energy are responsible for confirming with the U.S. President that our nuclear stockpile is safe, reliable, and we have confidence that they will work when called, whenever that might be. So the ASC's main objectives are, we do predictive simulation We deliver verified and validated physics and engineering codes to understand better the nuclear weapons performance issues and to provide to the DOE leadership risk-informed decision points. We also build robust tools, be they in the models, the codes, computing techniques, and we also develop new HPC management tools for our facilities, and we have to modernize them just because the computing technologies are moving so fast, and we have to bring in new techniques to cool our systems, harden our computing centers flooring, because the systems are just becoming much denser and heavier, etc. Next slide, please. So I started touching on some of the challenges. We are working with the OSCAR program to deploy the upcoming DOE systems. Ours is going to be called Capitan, and that will be deployed at Livermore in 2023. The OSCAR systems will come in a year or so earlier than us. But we still need to figure out how to use these new HP systems to be more performant for our nuclear weapons codes that we've developed in the next 2-3 decades. I'm sorry, in the last 2-3 decades. But at the same time, the computing industry is introducing new technologies like AI, neuromorphic, quantum, and both ASE and OSCAR. We have to track those new technologies to make sure that whatever we buy from industry will work for our national mission application codes. Very much in line with what I just said, learning to compute more efficiently at larger scales, just because our budget is rather healthy. The ASE budget is rather healthy, but we still will just have less buying power in the future just because of all the obligations and work scope that we have to be responsible for. Now, we will continue to have the predictive science and capability responsibility for the nuclear security missions, some of which are already developed for us, but the requirements, the system level requirements, the operational requirements are still unknown to the DOE. So simulation is a key tool for us to examine all the possible parameters and start developing the codes to possibly respond to these new but yet undefined requirements from our DoD customers. Lastly, developing workforce. We know that we're going to have a tougher time in the future to retain and retain scientists and engineers to work at our national labs, and we are ASE and OSCAR, we have been investing in CSGF for decades just to address the problem, and I know personally it's going to be worse for us in the future. Next slide, please. So this is the structure of the ASE program. I won't go into details for each of these boxes, but I thought to give you all this as a takeaway to see what are the specific technical areas that my program work on with the 3 NNSA labs, with some of the Office of Science labs, and industry and academia. So we cover all of the waterfront of simulation and computing. Next slide, please. So in summary, we work on our nuclear security mission. While we do that job, we have to be prepared for the future, which will include ever-changing computing landscape. We will have new missions, but we don't know what exactly they are. And the way we address all of these current and new scope is to build and retain a highly skilled workforce. And that's why my program is, very glad that we are in this joint collaboration with Oscar for CSGF, and recently with this pandemic, I have the pleasure of working with several SGS fellows who are now at the DOE labs or industry to work on the COVID research and response activities. Y'all probably have heard about the COVID-19 HPC Consortium and the DOE National Virtual Biotechnology Lab. So these are key DOE computing and scientific capabilities that are being called into service to address the pandemic issues. My viewpoint is that you all are our next generation of scientists and engineers, and who will be very well armed with the necessary technical knowledge and hands-on experience that are provided by this fellowship program to work on future missions for the nation, be they in national or energy security area, medical, or any others. I'm very glad to be able to continue supporting the CSGF Fellows and Fellows program, and I hope to be able to meet some of you in the near future and perhaps work with you in some joint projects. So that's all I have for my comments. Be glad to questions if there's time. Back to you, David.